Now that the curb returns are made side elements and part of the entrance road, we can now look at those in profile and regrade them if necessary. Beginning on page 39 in our manual, we'll go through 39, 40, and 41 to regrade the North Road intersections, curb returns. So back in Power Civil, I'm going to focus on the south side of my intersection right now and bring up a tool in Modeler under Elements called Edit Profile. This tool allows me to create a profile of any site element. So I'll also open up View 2 and find a place where I can plot this profile. So the Active Profile Control tool frame, the first icon on it, Profile Cell Status, is gray, and that's because it doesn't have any profile cells yet. So I'm going to right click on that and set it to Profile Cell Setting, which gives me a dialog where I can pick elements that I want to profile and then place a cell in View 2 and it'll profile or draw the profile of those elements. So the first thing I want to do is click the Add Element P-Cell chain. I want to select down at the bottom of my view here one of the edges of pavement coming into the intersection, accept it, and I'll see it put a yellow arrow and blue dots on it, so it's got it. I'll click the curb return, and so it just continues along there, and I'm going to click the edge of pavement as I go up into the entrance road and accept that with a data point. And now I've got 3 elements and I want to see the profile along those 3 elements. So I'm going to place that profile into View 2. I click in View 2 and it places and draws the profile. I'm going to zoom in on that so we can see it better. There's the profile of the element. Now, just like in Active Chain Control, I need to set View 2, so I'm going to right click on button number 2 and set that to profile, so that when you can see that as I come along the profile, I can see where I am in plan. So there's the one end of the curb return, there's the other end. And basically I want to draw kind of a smooth transition through there. So we give you a set of tools, vertical component tools, just like the profile tools we used earlier in the course, to draw what we want. So for example, what I like to do first is check what my profile preferences are, and right now they're both set to white. So if I draw a line, it would be white, and if I draw a curve, it would be white. So I'm going to change those to green, and I'll double click and change the curve to yellow, so that they'll show up a little better when I draw them. And the next thing I like to do is grab a tool like Place Line and kind of draw by snapping to the profile and drawing right on top of what's already there. So in that case, it was a straight shot between the one end of the arc to the other and the curb return. Then I want to draw the Create Profile Curve tool, and I'll snap to the end of the line, snap to the end of the arc, and then the midpoint I'll just snap somewhere in between, and that'll give me a curve or a vertical curve in there. So I'm kind of matching what's there, using the vertical component tools to match what's existing at this stage. Then I can use the Create Profile Curve Between Elements and create a curve between there. So for example, I can eyeball something in. Let's say select that profile component element, the yellow profile component element, accept them both, and then I can see as I move my cursor closer to the VPI there, so to speak, I can see the curve and kind of a rubber band or dynamic effect. So I can eyeball something in like that, or keep in mind you also have your tool settings, and maybe you want to lock something in. So for example, I could lock like a 700-foot radius, and that gives me one solution no matter where my cursor is. So you can eyeball it like that, key in values. What you're trying to do though is basically draw how you want the transition to be in that area. And notice that I didn't do anything up in this area of the profile, which was my main road. I'm leaving that edge of pavement element alone. Because you need to keep in mind that you are, as you draw, you're going to be modifying the actual elevation of those site elements, whichever ones you've profiled. So you don't want, if I don't want to change something, I don't introduce a profile element there, which is a green or yellow element in this case. Now that I've drawn what I want, back on the active profile control, I can use define site element profile to tell Modeler to use what I've drawn. So use the green and yellow and redefine the site element based on that. So I'm going to select the arc, accept it, and then accept it again. And it will go out there and update the model and change it. And now what you see is now what the model is at this point. So there's the transition now. So I need to continue that on the other side. And I just need to basically follow those steps to do the other side. And that's something I think that you'll probably want to do on your own and get familiar with the tools and the process. So next we'll take a look at the south intersection after you complete the north side of the north intersection.